Hello, ladies. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing so good tonight. Tonight is an important topic, and it's one that's been on my mind a lot lately. There's been a lot of new to mountain biking ladies, which is fantastic, and I'm super stoked that you're here. And then there's also a lot of ladies that have had to take some time off or a little break because of COVID. And I was one of those. I practiced skills in my backyard for a good month because I didn't go out to the trails. And it's really hard to look at what you've done, look at different things, and get back out onto the trails feeling confident. You're having some crashes. Like, all of these things play a role into it. And so I just wanted to kind of discuss it a little bit tonight. A little bit about what I do and a little bit of things that I tend to tease out within it. Now, this isn't perfect. This isn't like the thing that everybody should do and that everybody needs to do. It's just giving you guys some ideas, because this isn't necessarily my area of expertise, but I see it as something that we need to talk about and that needs to get discussed a little bit more in here than what it probably is. So, crashes, confidence, fear, man, those all correlate and kind of interweave together. And I've even had a couple messenger conversations with people about this. So first, I just want to talk a little bit about crashing. It happens. It's kind of part of mountain biking. We learn from these things. It also keeps it real for us. Like, we know that that's there. It's a possibility. But it also is something that we may need to be a little bit more patient with ourselves for. We might be pushing ourselves a little bit harder than what we need. We need to know that there's a process within things. And a lot of times when you see so many other people doing so many other things, you feel like you should already be there too. Or it's that you were there and you're trying to get back there and you've ridden it before. And you're like, why am I crashing on this? Like, I've ridden this before. And sometimes it can be what's on our brain. Sometimes it can be what's on our mind. Sometimes it can be that we haven't been as physically active. Or it can be that we've been too physically active when we're tired. Like, there's so many different things that comes with crashing. And it's something, as I said, that happens, but it doesn't have to happen all the time. It's not something that every time you go out for a ride that you expect to crash. If that is the case, then we need to talk a little bit more personally. Different things happen. But being patient, trusting that you're going to get some skills as you go, trusting that you don't have to be where somebody else is right now. Like, you don't need to push that much. It's okay to walk. It's okay not to ride everything, even if you rode it last time you were out there on the trail. Like, I do that. There's some things that I ride and some things that I'm like, I just want a chill day. I don't feel the need to ride that right now. So I don't. I'll walk around it or I do the sneak. And it's so hard to tell yourself that that's okay. Like, you can hear it 1,000 times. But when you're there and you're looking at something and or you're thinking about going down the trail, it's so hard to be like, I don't have to today. I don't have to. I can walk around. I'm gonna be just fine. And that goes into something I'm going to talk about a little bit later on in this talk, about expectations, about what we put on ourselves and what we perceive that others put on ourselves. And can be an entire other subject. I talked about it in the team a little bit this week because it's been on my mind. So when it comes to crashing, if you've had a crash in the recent past, so I actually crashed last time I went out. The trails haven't been open that long, and I was coming down a section, and there was a loose, chunk in the trail, and it was right around a turn, and I just didn't see it properly, and I hit it. My front wheel lost its traction, and I kind of held through, rode it out, and landed in some, briary bushes. And I was fine. I had enough strength, I had enough control, I had enough whereabouts about myself that I didn't go over the bars. I didn't slam on my brakes. I didn't get hurt because I made these things and I have these things as in my toolbox. having these things that you can learn and shape can change your crashes. If you're strong, then you can control your bike. If you have a good awareness of your body position, then you can control your body on your bike. If you are used to being a little bit out of control or trying different things when you're not on the trail, then that can help a ton as well. Like here recently, I've been doing wheelies and freaking pedal lifts and bunny hops and manuals in my yard like crazy. My husband would make fun of me because he's like, going outside again? I'm like, just gonna go ride my bike in the yard. And it's super helpful. It's probably one of the reasons why I pulled out that crash and why I didn't get hurt. But as I said, you look back at your crashes. So when it comes to this structure, when crashes happen, you look at them. Number one, what the hell happened? What could I have done differently? Why did that happen? And what do I need to change and work on so that doesn't happen again? Because I don't know about you guys, but I hate being injured. I'm a PT and I do not do good as the patient, and I've been there a lot. And it's part of the reason why I'm a PT. So I don't like to crash. I don't like it. It doesn't make me feel good about myself. It doesn't make me feel good about my riding, but it does, understanding what happened and understanding how to make that different the next time is part of it. Now, is that you need to work on calming your brain? Are you mentally worked up on the trail right now? It's totally understandable why you would be. We're in a fucking quarantine. There's a pandemic going on. It's understandable. In different ways, different people can have different emotions on different days, different hours. And so give yourself a break mentally right now. So mentally, we could be a little bit off, not actually zoned into what the hell we're doing. Okay. Another one is that we need to work on some skills. Did I know how to combat and how to go over that rock? I did. I just didn't see it properly. I didn't see that it was loose. And so I should have responded. I should have done something a little bit differently. I probably didn't need to be going as fast as I was. I was just cruising. I was just super stoked to be out on the trail again. But if I had been going a little bit slower, I would have been able to veer around it. I would have been able to change things. And so those are different side notes to note. AKA, Liz, a trail hasn't been rode in a little while. You probably don't need to go real fast down it. Way to go. Think about these things. And so you can look at those and piece out different things. Fitness-wise, was I able to control my bike? Do I have good balance and posture? Am I able to maneuver my bike? Do I feel like I can control it? Am I strong enough through my core, through my upper body, through my legs to make this happen? Have you guys looked back at your crashes like this? Just give me yes, I've looked at my crashes like this. And then next thing is are you making changes for it? So the next time I'm going to go out, I'm probably not going to go as fast down some of those sections. I'm going to be looking and seeing what's around. I'm going to be paying attention a little bit more than what I was. It's making those adjustments and then working on them. For me, it was ones that I can just go out on the trail again and make on the trail. But it could be that you need to practice going over sticks. It could be that you need to practice going over off-camber sticks in the yard. It could be that you need to work on some strength and power. And so whenever you're on that climb next time, you don't just fall over. You can have more balance on the bike. All of these things play a role within it. Skills, strength, balance, mental capacity, all of these come in for mountain biking. That's why it's so dynamic and so cool. But it's looking at what those pieces and parts are as to what you need to improve, and that you don't have to be there yesterday. Part of what makes mountain biking so cool and so fun is that fact that it is challenging, is the fact that it is hard, that it does push us. And being able to accept that it's a slower process sometimes in different parts of those is important. It makes the end, it makes whenever you finally get it so much sweeter. It's if you don't allow yourself to have chocolate until the end of the day, and all of a sudden you eat your chocolate and you're like, oh gosh, this chocolate's so delicious. Like I have this like caramel, this dark chocolate with caramel inside, and I don't allow myself to have it until like the end of the day. And oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good, guys. I'm such a fan of dark chocolate and caramel. Oh, I love it. But it makes it so good. If I could just eat that all the time, like it wouldn't make it as special. It's working for some of those things. So now when it comes, we've looked at crashing. Now let's look at how we increase our confidence. And part of that is you break down the skills. If you need to work on your skills to prevent crashing so much, then we break them down, make them simpler. Go to other trails and you session similar things that are easier though. You work on them in your yard. You practice them in different places that you can go to around your city, around your town that either have drops or have other different things that are similar to this. And so you build up slow. Not like whenever you're starting to write, you don't just start writing sentences. Like you start writing letters. We need to make sure you're writing letters before you actually write your sentence, before you write your word. And so making that same breakdown of bike skills. Like these are motor patterns. These are motor control of our body to a bike that we're now setting on wheels. And that's how we're touching the ground. I used to teach whitewater kayaking, and I'd hand people these paddles, and they have 2 blades on the end. And I'm like, all right, I just handed you a paddle. Now you're supposed to use it. Now, where are the ends of your blades? Like, what's touching the water? And they like look at both ends and like, perfect. Now see what you can do without looking at them. And it's like our same thing, like our motor control realm of what's happening when you're on their bike is so different than when we're walking around. And so making sure that you're understanding that step-by-step progression, even for those that have been riding a long time. If you've taken a time off, if you've had another mental thing that has happened to you, then these are things that you're going to need to stepwise up again. You're going to need to remember some of these old patterns. And most of all is have fun. Like I talk about it a ton when it comes to why I built my programs. Like I didn't build my programs for people to race. I didn't build my strength components for people to just get faster on their bike. Like I built them so people could have more fun. Like it's so much more fun to me to not feel like I'm going to die out there and to have confidence to feel like I can do some of the other maneuvers on the trail. And so building yourself up, giving yourself that fun factor back instead of putting some of these other pressures on yourself to have to do some of these things already, to keep up with those around you, to want to already be progressed in already making it to this other thing or going over this drop or doing this other aspect. Like step yourself up for it. Practice components of it. Practice writing the letters to the full word. That's how you build it up for it. So for different things that I've been doing for timing wise is I put sticks in the yard and I work on doing my pedal wheel lifts over it. I work on doing my bunny hops over that. I stack things so I work on my timing. I change my speed. I change how I'm going to be coming at it. Like all of these things mentally prepare you for doing different aspects. I make sure I'm strong in my core and my body for my rotation support. So then I know that I can control that motion when I'm on my bike. All of these things increase your confidence. Also, looking at how other people do different obstacles. Looking at how they break them down. Shanna Powell taught me whenever I was learning a little bit more, walk your bike through something. Look and see how it rolls. Does it roll well? Or do you feel like you're going to hit something? Be amazed at how much your bike can actually roll through something. But then it's putting your body on top of that and understanding what you need to do for it. And if you don't understand that component, then you probably don't need to be going off that drop. Not yet. It's something you're going to learn. It's something you're going to get to if you want to. Most of all, it's having fun. Who's out there to have some fun? Who thinks that some of these crashes, some of these fears, some of these confidence issues is really killing your stoke? and that going back actually to an easier trail would be the best thing for your stoke. Like, let's make you have more fun. Make it where it's not a job. Man, us ladies are fantastic at making everything a job. Myself included. You stepwise up, you task it, you make sure you do this, this, and this, and then you're going to be able to do this, and then you're going to be able to do this, and this, and this, and this. Well, like, just ride and have a good time. Like, do something easier. Make it not a job. You can work on things, you can progress new things, but don't put a pressure that you have to. You know? Like, don't make it a job. Don't make it work. And that's the key within a lot of this. And so to build your confidence, like, one is that you have to trust what you're doing. You have to trust your body. You have to trust your bike. Do you trust it? Do you feel confident? Like, have fun within that. And that's how you can change your aspect and what you're thinking when you're on the bike. You know, that's how you gain your confidence. When I'm out there in the yard just messing around, like, I have music on, I'm messing with my dog, I'm trying to pick up his toys on the ground and throw them on my bike. Just being stupid and goofy, you know? It's not that it's like, all right, I'm going to do 30 minutes of this task and it's going to happen. I just can't do that. I do enough of that during the day. It's not going to happen. I just can't, I can't make it another job. I've done it. I tried it before. It's one reason why I don't compete in mountain biking is because I've competed in all the rest of the sports that I've done. And I don't need to do that for mountain biking too. It's something that I need to back off and not make a job. Just make it fun. Go out there and enjoy. So then that brings us into fear. So fear is a huge aspect, and it's a huge component that kills a lot of our stoke, including mine. And there's a couple things that you can look at when it comes to fear. And we've talked about some of them in this conversation. One, are you having fun? Two, do you think that you are confident within what you're doing? Do you have a good outcome? Do you expect good things to come if you're going to be doing something? Because that's a good reason to know if you should push to try to do it or not. Can you calm yourself down? Can you focus? Have you worked on the components of it? Have you seen what you need to be doing? Like, all these things come in from your crash, from your confidence, and now into your fear. Is it rational? What things do you expect to happen? Have you worked up to it? Or do you have no clue what's actually going to happen to your body, what's going to happen to your bike when you actually start going down it? Like, what's happening? So, expectation outcomes for fear. Can you calm yourself down? Are you breathing? Can you take some deep breaths? Being able to take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, breathe it out, take a deep breath in, hold it for a second, breathe it out, calms your system, calms your brain, calms everything else around you. If you cannot calm your heart rate down, you probably should not try it. You need to do it with confidence. You need to do it without the expectation of fear, the expectation that you're going to get hurt. Because that's why we have fear, right? It's that fear of crashing, fear of that I'm going to get hurt, fear of that I'm going to look stupid. I mean, that's definitely one of them. Fear that I won't make it. Fear that I can't keep up. Fear that somebody is going to think that I'm not as good as what I think I am. If you have fears of other people thinking that, one, you can ask them, but I'm sure it's probably not true. It's our own perception of what we feel is around us. But all of those fears come into play and put pressure on ourselves. It makes us more anxious. It makes us more fearful. Then, what do you feel as your support system? Do you have a good one? Do you have a good internal support system? Do you feel good about yourself? Like, these are things that mountain biking teaches us, is the ability to feel good about ourselves, to feel confident within ourselves that we can do something, and why it hurts not only physically, but almost sometimes mentally when we crash. However, it can feel okay that we crashed, that we were able to control our bodies. So when I crashed the last time I went out, I didn't get hurt. And it actually made me feel a little bit more confident of myself, the fact that I was able to control what happened in a very uncontrollable situation. And so that made me feel good about my body mechanics. It made me feel good about how I was able to maneuver the bike and not fall over, not go over the handlebars. And so crashing doesn't always equal bad, but it's not something that we want to strive to. It's not something that every time we want to go out that we want to crash. Or, side note, that we just want to put on more of their protective padding, and that is what we gain confidence in. Yes, I wear near pads. Yes, I wear my helmet, but I'm not putting on this gear and saying, all right, I'm ready to go ride over everything now. The fact that if I do crash, I have protection. Like, you need skills, you need these other things, and then that stuff helps you if you don't end up getting it. So don't use something else as an added like confidence gain, but it's like a Band-Aid. Like it's not going to actually, it's like, I'm not going to go jump into a pit of crocodiles being like, it's okay, got some padding on, got some gear. Like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not confident within that situation. So it's like, why add something else that's just going to help me with that? Yes, protective equipment is important. It is something you should wear. I wear it. But it's not that you need to gain all your confidence from it. Your skills, like take a skills class. Look at all these other things. Those are aspects of it. Sorry, side note. I went off on a little tangent there. So, for fear, do you see a good outcome, a good expectation? Can you breathe? And are you confident within yourself? Are you able to control and understand what's happening and see yourself making it through skill-wise? So, we covered a ton in this video. A ton. We've covered a lot about crashing, how you can look at it, how you can break it down. We've covered a lot about confidence, how you can gain confidence from even your crashes. You can gain confidence by breaking things down, and that you can also use it from the fear. Like, put those two and two together, and then as an overall basis and whole, what expectations are you putting on yourselves? You don't have to be where everybody else is around you yesterday. It takes time. Have some patience. I know it's really hard. And then working towards it will give you that better end goal. You'll feel so proud of yourself. Like, there's this one section of trail that I've been working on my strength for. I've been working on my stamina for, and I have made it out of the last 5 times I've made it, or out of the last 6 times I've made it 5 times. And I've been super stoked, no foot down, like powered up through it. And it took a long time for me to get there, for me to make this section trail. And now I have. I've got it. I'm super stoked. And I'm so proud of myself versus the other parts of the trail that I've just like zoomed up past, I'm not as proud of myself for. And so it's okay for things to take more time. Give yourself that. And for the overarching goal of having fun. Like, that's why we ride. We ride to get away from some of the other stressors. But it's so easy to put them on to our biking. It's so easy to just overlay that. All those pressures and things that I need to be doing and expectations that I perceive that others have on me, or that I think that I should be doing, and that I think I should be better at, and I'm going to push to go forward. Like, chill out. It's okay. Type A personality right here, person. It's hard to take all that and bundle it up and be like, throw it away. Like, I don't need that. I don't need that. We don't need that in our lives. We have enough other shit that we're dealing with when it comes to that. And so it doesn't need to be that for our biking. So if you're listening to this, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that this gave you some other inklings of ways to look at your crashes, ways to break them down, ways to look at your confidence and help build that up, and ways to look at fear and how your expectations and what things that you're doing with regards to our confidence and our crashes and other aspects of our skills and our strength component of how we feel play a role into it. And I hope that helps you. I hope that Also hearing that somebody else crashes as well, but then also tries to learn from them. And that type A personality takes those expectations of the other shit and throws it away. And so I hope this was helpful for you. Tag anybody that you think that may need this. And for those that are beginners, we got something special coming for you. And for those that want to climb better, there's something coming up in the near future. I'm super stoked. All right, ladies, have a fantastic, fantastic night. Bye, guys.